Sergeant Mullen Field for the opening night, or rather opening afternoon for the 2013 Weymouth High boys soccer team as they take on Silver Lake in a non-league game. Good evening, everyone. Mark Ducharme to call you play-by-play for the Wildcats. It is a very unusual situation. Which Billy McEachran's team, well, they graduated heavily, but you talk to the head coach, he feels quite happy as far as his group coming into the season. They played well in the preseason. They did some good things. And they open up against a Laker team. Won the Patriot League Keenan Division a year ago as they came on at the end and played quite well. These two teams have met each other for the past couple of seasons. Weymouth has had success. We'll find out on opening day 2013 if the Wildcats can open up in style as we get going in just a moment. Well, for the Wildcats in the home white with the maroon numerals, as they get on the attack right away, they'll go left to right here in this opening half of play. Well, the last couple of years, we talked about people like Mike Lynch, Jack Lynch, as well as Josh Berg and company. Well, they've all gone on to college. It's now a new addition. This is a new addition to the Wildcats. Shane Adams and company trying to make things happen. As McEachran said, we had a good preseason. We did a lot of good things. They controlled some scrimmages. They played some very good teams in the preseason. Ludlow, as well as Acton Boxborough, Hingham. They get tested, so they'll be ready to rock and roll as far as this season goes. And Rick Guerrero just trying to work it upfield. So the Wildcats opening up the season at home. In fact, the first couple of games, non-league games, are at home. So Coach Bill McEachran and the Wildcats, way to begin is Joe Long, one of the few returnees in there as they try to get the opportunity right away on the Silver Lake net. As the Lakers, they have Jonathan Lawson in goal as far as this one goes. A year ago, these two teams down at Sirico Field had an interesting battle as far as it went. It was the Wildcats pulling it out, but they didn't do it until the end. A 3-1 win as the final 12 minutes they dominated. And as far as learning anything from that a year ago, Coach Bill McEachran put it quite simply. Different team as far as everything goes. That's the best way to phrase it. It was a different team for him, different team as Jim Tripolitis tries to work his way through. Jake Davenport couldn't control the ball as it will be Silver Lake on the throw-in. The Wildcats will be business as usual as far as building from the defensive end out. And you would figure they would as far as everything goes. You have your sweeper, Jake Lovely. You have your goaltender, Lucas Resende Verge, back in net. And the two are the key as Adam Crawford and the Lakers try to figure out what to do as Anthony Henson cut off the play and forces the throw in. This is Sean Hurlbert, junior captain for the Lakers. As Hurlbert on the throw in, the Wildcat defense does the good job in getting the ball away. Hurlbert, Lakers on the chip across, and this is what you love to have as far as an opening day goes, an experienced goaltender and a good one. And co-captain Lucas Resende Verge, I mean, he can just read the play, come across, and prevent anything on the chip across from materializing and coming through. To the corner, Anthony Henson will not be the one who receives the pass. It's going to be Guerrero. Guerrero rolls it in and has it blocked. Corner kick coming up. Davenport and company go the short way. Jake Davenport tries to wheel it towards the net. Jake, you know, when we were last with you, saw him during the hockey season, the tournament against Barnstable, but Jake had some great ones against Barnstable as Verge hustles up and prevents something from happening. But the whistle had blown. And as you look at head coach Bill McEachran, year number 7 for the Wildcat coach. Silver Lake. Apparently had somebody on the offsides. Verge made his presence known in the opener last year against Framingham when he 3-1 game. He stuffed a goal kick. Stuffed a penalty kick. As far as everything went, that made life easier. The Wildcats went on to a 4-1 win over Framingham and just took off from there. Vergay ended up blocking 3 penalty kicks in the first couple of weeks, so that, you kind of look at what is in the back line. Peter Dirksmeyer, Jake Lovely and company. These guys have been there and done that. Steve Lenato, they're experienced, and that is what you want. Until you start to establish yourself. Brendan Nems slides it across. It is loose. Vergay gets help as he got the shield from Tripolitis and just guns it upfield. Long couldn't get it. Brendan Neves does get it for Silver Lake. The Lakers, they graduated heavily. As the whole entire defensive back line went, have a new goaltender, and a couple of new midfielders, and I'll see what the Lakers are able to do as you look at the Wildcats. Peter Dirksmeyer getting it up to midfield. So you get a feeling it's not gonna be clean for a little while. Both teams. This is the first game of the season. You come out and you kind of learn a little as you go along what the other team will throw out at you. And Walter Ho and the Lakers will have the restart situation. Opportunities will not, as far as this one goes, you don't expect with two teams that, as far as tournament play last year, they were both in the upper part of the brackets. And you know that it's not going to be a situation where it doesn't matter how much you replace, unless you have to replace, a brand new team, as Vergay came out and just slid and grabbed it. But you have to remember something, that both these teams did play a lot of people. The Wildcats did play a lot of the people that are back and out. There's Jake Davenport, got plenty of time as far as everything went. Connor Hudson-Bryant, Joe Long, Steve Lenato, Anthony Henson and company. They all got time. So we'll see how that manifests itself into what we will see this year. And it's just, this is game one, long ways to go. And the corner kick coming up, the Wildcats went short the first time, and they go long this time, and it's cleared away. Sean Hunt ends up knocking it upfield. We've gone 8 minutes into this one. Both goalies, as far as a dangerous opportunity, really haven't had one where they've had to look at it. About the only thing Vergay did is on a chip across. He did a good job on a Brendan Nems chip across. He cut it off. And Anthony Henson shielding, gets pushed from behind. Will keep going up the field. Peter Dirksmeyer. Paul Beatty and the Lakers. Dirksmeyer gets help from Lovely in cutting off the play. There's Josh O'Neill on the throw-in. The Lakers, their story was the second half of the season. They played extremely well to not only get in the tournament, but win the Patriot League Keenan division, which has been, for the most part, Hingham or Duxbury over the past decade or so, and they put their name into the history books as a champion. The Wildcats finished second in the Cary division to Needham, and All the frustrating part was Needham was the nemesis last year. Davenport and the Wildcats would love to change it. As Jake just flicks it over the net. This is corner kick number 3, and we haven't even played 11 minutes. Davenport is coming out of the pack. Jonathan Lawson as he grabs it. But as the game moves on, that is going to be one of the things, restarts. And as far as Weymouth goes, you're trying to find out who is going to be the new leading scorer. Mike Lynch was the leading scorer a year ago with over 30 points, 21 goals. He was just unbelievable when it counted. Just go back, and one of the games, as far as last year win that you ever wanted to talk about, was the matchup against Brookline on Senior Day when he just, well, Mikey Lynch get the true bounce in this day and age on the turf compared, well, when I began doing the games, remember over at Legion Field, there was once in a while you wondered it would take a crazy bounce once in a while. Paul Beatty and the Lakers haven't had much in the offensive end since the early part of this one. They tried to change that. For the Wildcat defense, rotating right to the ball. And that's something you got to like as this half has gone on. Davenport trying to find somebody in a white shirt to give it off to, so he changes fields with 4. Tom Nolan just being harassed, and it's going to be a goal kick coming up. Well, Lucas Resende Verge. You can tell it's he and Steve Lenata love the fact that they've been named the captains. You can, anytime you go into the shed where the team will talk during halftime and 4 games, and you can tell they are the leaders. Peter Dirksmeyer got time during last season. As Peter looking for somebody to throw it into. This is Shane Adams. Couldn't control it. Josh O'Neill and the Lakers trying to come back. Well, this half has gone on. One thing, as far as the emotion of the game, for the Wildcats, as far as just, you hate using the term body language, but everybody's just taking that one more step. There seems to be that explosion. Getting to a lot of 50-50 balls as far as this half has gone, and trying to make something happen as it's lofted in, and the collision that forces the violation on Weymouth. Jake Lovely's goal has given the Wildcats the only one of the game. Weymouth 1, Silver Lake nothing here at Sergeant Mullen Field. With you on Weymouth Community Access. Glad you joined us. Another year of high school sports here in Weymouth Community Access. Guerrero and Weymouth trying to make its mark known. Nems cut off in the play very nicely. Connor Hudson Bryant. Adams tries the tap pass and gets it to Anthony Henson. Henson gets some time, not a great amount, but Anthony is worked up as part of the rotation this year. Davenport. Jake just hustles. He just keeps moving. It's like he's not going to be denied. Guerrero tried to slide it through the pack and couldn't. Handball right there. Henson got a bounce that he didn't expect. And Wildcats getting some pressure upfield, and that's, you don't want to turn it over as Dirksmeyer hits it out. Cool day as far as this one goes. It's perfect if you're for an opener. It's not an Indian summer type day where you're struggling with the heat and humidity. You can get loose and get ready, and as far as everything goes, corner kick coming up. Paul Beatty and the Lakers. This is the second one that they will have here in this opening half. Beatty. Oh, more white shirts in the area. And you can see, even though there was a shot taken by Sean Hurlbert, there was just too many white shirts to try to drive it through. Well, it appeared Paul Beatty, that's a late whistle, and I don't blame the Lakers. As far as that one goes, that is a late whistle. Beatty went out of bounds and appeared, okay, let's keep playing, but the whistle came very late. Connolly, upfield. Lovely and company, and had gone out of bounds. It's a throw-in for Silver Lake. Lakers suddenly picking up a little momentum here towards the end of the first half. Hurlbert on the throw-in. And Sean just going back about to get a lot on it. Joey Long just punching it out. You know, Joey Long, even though punched out, you have to look at one thing. There was a white shirt accounting for every red shirt. Nobody was free. Peter Dirksmeyer kicking it upfield. That's the one thing you got to like. Every time there's a Laker looking to turn, there's a white shirt in their face. Hurlbert trying to change that and get to the end line. Dirksmeyer there to cut off in the passing lane. Now Hurlbert. Sean trying to win the battle with Anthony Henson. Henson stayed strong, and that helped out. And the Lakers just slid past the Wildcat defense and the offsides. The fact of the matter is, Henson stayed strong and forced the pass to be pushed out to Josh O'Neal. Hurlbert was looking to go to the middle with that feed and had nothing there. Berge. Jake Davenport. There's Lucas. He's got a powerful leg. That thing was just up the field in a hurry. That one step kick was perfectly upfield. And the Wildcats can create something. And we're going to handball outside the box. A deep opportunity for Weymouth. Under 2 to go, first half of play. Jake Lovely and Weymouth have a 1-0 lead. Bill McEachran wants time to talk about this play. The only official time being told, as far as I think, we got about a minute left unofficially in the first half. And the restart situation from about 30 yards out for the Wildcats, who run the play. Henson taps to the near side corner and goes out of play. And Lakers see the Wildcats come up with another corner kick. As Weymouth going the short way. Lanata from Davenport to the far corner. Trying to hit Shane Adams coming across from the weak side and not successfully. Adams would have been a phenomenal tap-in if Adams ever got it. I mean, he had to climb the ladder as far as that one goes. That thing had too much air underneath it. Bryant, the Wildcats, this shouldn't be a heck of a lot of time. And it wasn't. Jake Lovely has got the game's only goal. We've got one half in the books, and opening day for Weymouth High against Silver Lake. Your score, Weymouth 1, Silver Lake nothing, second half in a moment here on Weymouth Community Access. Don't you dare go away.
Being there, football practice, Bradley on your left, Fernandez on your right, and they took a peek over to see Weymouth with a 1-0 lead over Silver Lake. Mark Ducharme with you on Weymouth Community Access. Silver Lake in the traveling red with the white numerals heading left to right. These two teams playing once each of the last two seasons. Weymouth winning both those games, and they look to make it 3 in a row as the Wildcats. As Billy McEachran has said over the years, he was once people that he would see possibly in the tournament, a better test as far as everything goes. He's had Oliver Ames when they were playing Division I, now always gone to Division II. But you want to get a good read of where you stand. Well, not a bad way to find out. Two teams, Silver Lake and Marshfield, to start the season. And these teams you could see in Division I South. It gives you a general idea. Hurlbert's throwing, and there's a bunch of white shirts that just reject it and make another throw in. Jake Lovely has got the goal for Weymouth. Scramble in front of the net. Just one of those little look what I found bounces, and Jake Lovely hit one that Jonathan Lawson just kept on looking at. He looked like he was going to get it. He was going to get it, and well, Jonathan Lawson never could catch up to the soccer ball that just pulled away from him, and that's where we stand at the moment. 1-0 Weymouth. They controlled the game. Verge has had one save so far, and there's a little push and collision. Guerrero with Hurlbert, both going for the ball, and Guerrero gets nailed for the violation. But as far as this one goes, play has been in the Silver Lake defensive end. I would say for the 40 minutes, you would probably put down about 28, 29 of those minutes in the Silver Lake end. The Weymouth attack has been there, it's just finishing plays. They've come close on a couple of occasions, and now they've had a few that they have not been able to get through the Silver Lake defense. The Lakers still a very good defensive team. They graduated, and it's going to be the situation where you're going to be that one step here, one step there behind as far as things go. And then about a couple of weeks from now, those plays look even cleaner, crisper, and just better executed as Beatty's shot gets blocked. One thing that you have to like, Weymouth, you've had the communication in the back line, and it has prevented anything for Silver Lake. Anything that the Lakers have tried to push at the Weymouth net has been slapped aside. And there is one other reason why nothing will be going at the net. Verge, however, will have to see a testing situation coming up after Pat Hutchinson was dumped. Verge did a good job of coming out on the Hurlbert kick, but now it is, you get a little bit of a testing situation. And for Weymouth, it's just outside the box, and that's the only good news about this entire situation. Let's see how it goes. Verge plays a little bit of hide and seek in the net, and now steps out and get an idea of what he has to read through. As the committee meeting in front of this Hurlbert Nem's situation, which one's going to take the opportunity. Hurlbert gets it. Hurlbert rocketed it upstairs, deadlocked at one. There's one at this point of the season. You know, if you're Billy McEachran, is the violation on the handball right there, and Weymouth might have gotten a break back. But that is one, if you're Billy McEachran, you're very frustrated at. Your goaltender makes a nice play, kicks it out, and then you get a little bit careless just outside the box, and the restart situation becomes a nice, easy opportunity. Sean Hurlbert, who is a junior captain and just showed you why he is that highly regarded, just blasted it. Nothing Lucas Resende-Verge could do. That thing was a bullet.
Goal for Silver Lake, unassisted. Number 13, Sean Hurlbert.
And now Weymouth gets its opportunity on another restart situation. You know, Verge thought he had to look. Adams has it blocked. Shane Adams and Connolly just get the block. Now the Wildcats will try to regroup in a 1-1 tie, and realistically, they have been the better team and didn't just make a bad mistake that hurts them. Tripolitis coming in. Tripolitis can't get control. Takedown right there by Joe Long. Joe Long was going after the ball, and he's being told, okay, that he was being a little over-aggressive. Joe Long got the violation, but he does not get a card. Well, control the ball the way you do, and then all of a sudden give one up. That's one of the things that you're going to be having. Is the mistake right there of the inexperience on the field. But then again, I'm going to counter that with one other thing and play both sides of the issue. A year ago, the Wildcats up 3-1 gave up a penalty kick that Verge had to make a big stop on and went over Framingham. And Verge all of a sudden is just getting a little bit of pressure, but also there was a Laker standing next to him behind the play and couldn't hide. It was offsides. You know, the Wildcats have been the team that has allowed the least amount of goals in the league for the last 6 years. And they don't give up many opportunities. And Silver Lake has been very aggressive with hands pushing away. There was the Laker bench a little bit upset, but Sean Hunt going after the ball shoved away against the Wildcat. Connor Hudson-Bryant and company will just try to restart. 8 minutes in, we're tied at 1. Weymouth and Silver Lake here on Weymouth Community Access. Bryant, who got a goal late in the season last year. Chip through Adams. Oh, my! Shane Adams nearly if he just could have turned one step more to his left. 1-1 tie changes into a 2-1 Weymouth lead. And instead they'll try to do it off the corner kick. Almost. From the weak side, that was nearly executed. Jake Lovely just snuck in the back door and nearly opened it up and tapped it in. Just ran out of real estate as far as the whole play went. Beatty has it knocked away, and here come the Wildcats back. It's Joe Long. Guerrero trying to run down the soccer ball on the near side, cut off. As it's Hurlbert cut him off and made sure that Silver Lakes get the throw in. Problem was for Silver Lake, nobody was really paying attention.
And that was part one of the issue. And part two of the issue was the fact that Hurlburt gets told, you're going to move back a little and make the throw in. Tripolitis. Davenport has been hustling all over the place and trying to create opportunities. And Wildcats right now, 10 minutes into the second half, could use one or two opportunities. Yes, we are Weymouth Cable, so you're going to hear a push for it. Right now, the takedown, it was not. That one played by Hunt. You can see Sean's point and looking back at the official. It didn't look like that was much. Burgay. Chip through Davenport, and Lawson is there and grabs it. Jake did a good job in chipping it through, and we're 11 minutes into the second half. Weymouth got a goal in the first half from Jake Lovely. Second half, Silver Lake Sean Hurlburt gets the goal, and that is where we stand at 1 goal apiece. Pat Hutchinson, who get taken down in that play that set up the goal, feeds it across to the far side. There's Nems trying to turn the corner. And Vergay comes up with a stop. Nems didn't have much of an angle. Vergay had the side well covered and made sure that he was able to grab it. I'll point out a year ago, it was 3 goals for Weymouth in the last 12 minutes, and that win down at Sarco Field in Kingston against Silver Lake. Well, at one time, Weymouth and Silver Lake, when they were in the old Colony League together, the two had some fantastic battles. One of the funniest things was the fact that at the time, Weymouth coached by Steve Schaff, Silver Lake by Billy Johnson. The two were in the same neighborhood where they lived, and that used to make it a harsh battle. As Paul Beatty claimed that it was Weymouth who knocked it out, and he's told no, it's Silver Lake. Paul Beatty just taking it out of bounds himself. But there were some great battles. The funny thing was, a couple of times, Silver Lake in the 1990s, would win the OCL title. The funny thing is, Weymouth would then go on, turn it up in the tournament, and win the state title. Clutching and grabbing on that play going up the field, and we keep going with Silver Lake. Sean Hurlburt going to the far side. Well, this is played at times like an opener. It's what you expect. Two teams that had good success a year ago. Weymouth had a little more, but you still a situation where both these teams have played at high quality, and there's going to be not many chances. And Guerrero gets tripped up in the play, and there's no quite on the trip. He earned that one. As Billy McEachran looks on, and the restart situation. As Billy McEachran yells out for his group, heading to the net to be a little bit wider. Slid through, and Adams nails it! Oh my, what a good kick, Shane Adams. 2-1, well played. Joey Long to Shane Adams, and it's a 2-1 Weymouth lead. Well, Shane Adams nearly got an opportunity to put Weymouth up 2-0 in the first half and couldn't finish off. This time, Shane Adams made sure of it. The sophomore just just put himself right in the middle of the Silver Lake defense, tapped it home. Joey Long gets the assist, but the serve for Long was absolutely pretty. As Vergey has to come up with a stop right there. So 2-1 Weymouth, and we got 24 plus minutes to go. Guerrero. Tripolitis just came up a little too quickly. Lovely back line, chips it away. Shane Adams giving Weymouth the lead. So the Wildcats have got the first goal of the game, and after Silver Lake tied it on a restart, it was a nice, pretty play to come back. And look at this, folks. This is like you never see a 6-on-1 rush. And the Wildcats had 6 white shirts heading up the field at one point. It was about very few people in white shirts that were on the field that weren't in the middle of that rush up the field. Vergey just hammers it up the field. Hurlbert from behind with a push down on Guerrero. Jake Lovely in the first half, Shane Adams here in the second half, and that's where we stand. 2-1 Weymouth. Sean Hurlbert in between those 2 goals scored for the Lakers. We'll see Lawson have to come out and make the play. That was just a pretty play off the restart. That was just a very well played.
Goal scored by number 24, Shane Adams. Assisted by number 2, Joey Long.
And one of the pretty fun comments from the stands as soon as that was being announced by Lisa Stokes on the goal. You know that it's the early part of the school year, and when somebody yells out, "He's my friend." Lovely. We'll go back and Vergey. I will say that. I said it in lacrosse. I will say it in soccer. I get nervous on that play, no matter what. You always wonder there's going to be that one little oops, and it just goes tumbling by the goalie into the net. Well, the Lakers, despite everything, look like and get the game where they wanted it. They get the goal to tie it from Sean Hurlbert on a restart, and then all of a sudden, Weymouth got a little pressure on, and just a takedown and just turned everything around. That restart situation, Davenport getting it going, Long and just distributing the ball right to Shane Adams and right in stride. Adams just did a great job in finishing. Pair of underclassmen doing the job, and Shane Adams got a little bit of work towards the end last season.